Let's have a look at the English word tomorrow. And for you and me, tomorrow is one word, and it means the day that's not today but the next one. But the English language traditionally thinks a little bit differently. Let's have a look at the etymology of the word. So here you have it here, tomorrow. There's a lot of information now. I'll give you the main parts there. Basically, it actually consists of two words, to and morrow. So to is in the usual I go to school, and morrow, which actually comes from the Old English morgen, which sounds a lot like German, doesn't it? Guten Morgen. That's because they're both Germanic languages. So basically, this word in English, tomorrow, it actually means to the morning. So when you say, what are you going to do tomorrow? Literally or etymologically, it means, what are you going to do to the morning? And in fact, here it says that it was even written as two different words, to and morrow, until the 16th century. So back in 1522, if you wanted to write tomorrow, you wrote to, space, and then morrow. And this idea is the next day from today as being just the morning itself actually occurs in other languages. Let's have a look at Russian, for example. So here we are to have a look at the Russian. What's the Russian for tomorrow? It is завтра. Завтра in Russian means tomorrow. Interesting enough, from Old Russian, comes from Old Russian, a word there, завтра, but actually pronounced a little bit differently, завтра, завтра. And when you break that up, you can actually hear за утро, завтра, завтра. And that is actually the same as in English. You've got to and then morrow, and in Russian you've got za and utro. And utro in Russian means morning. So etymologically, Russian is similar to English. In both languages we say to and in the morning. So let's have a look at this idea of tomorrow as being to the morning of the next day in some other languages. So I'll put in tomorrow. Let's see what happens in another Slavic language. I'll come back to that, Polish. So jutro, which is a lot like the Russian utro, which means morning, jutro, which then poses a question, how do you say morning in Polish? And it's ranek, which means early. So the Polish are a little bit different. They've got their own individual word, jutro, which actually means morning in other Slavic languages. And then they use the word early to talk about the morning itself. So some similarities, but also some differences. If we hop over to Chinese, what do? Do they have this to and the morrow, or ze and the nutra, zlata? They've actually got zaoshang, which is two characters meaning early and up. So maybe because if it's early, you have to get up in China or something like that. I'm not sure. So there they have the idea of early, which I think corresponds to morning for most people, unless you can sleep until very late or something like that. Okay, last language let's have a look at is Spanish. We'll start off again with tomorrow. Tomorrow. Spanish. Mañana. Tomorrow in Spanish is mañana. Now let's check out morning. Mañana. Is it any different from tomorrow or not? Let's have a look. Mañana, mañana. No, it seems to be exactly the same. So in Polish they differentiate. In English and Russian we have a preposition of motion and the word morning. In Chinese they just have early and up. And in Spanish they just have the same word. Does this mean that traditionally Spanish speakers are lazy? I'd let you make that judgment for yourself. But interesting enough, the word mañana does pop up in English. It has the meaning of never. So for example, you might hear an English speaker say, I'll do it mañana, and that would mean I'll do it never. The idea being that in Spain or maybe some Spanish-speaking country, when someone says they'll do it mañana, they'll do it tomorrow, they never end up actually doing it. So there's a little bit of information there to wrap up this little video about tomorrow.